We're back, everybody. My first guest tonight is an Oscar-nominated and Emmy Award-winning actor who's probably best known for his work as Lieutenant Columbo. He's also starred in one of the funniest films ever made anywhere, The In-Laws. It is a real pleasure having him here. Please welcome Peter Falk. Thank you so much for coming. You know, I gotta say, I was thinking about it today. I think you're in like 4 of my favorite movies of all time. Mad, 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 Mad World. You're in The Great Race, which when I was a kid was my favorite movie. I think The In-Laws. Probably if you're gonna pick 5
that's
funny.
The one I like.
That's the one you like. 5 really funny.
That's the one I like. I think The In-Laws to me is really an inspired script. But,
right.
You know, it's the kind of thing, I don't know how many of you have seen this picture, but it looks like random madness. It looks like just silliness.
Right.
And it's a miracle because at the end it's a coherent story.
Yeah. Which never happens in American movies anymore.
No, particularly in comedies.
Yeah. Or here. It never happens here. It never ends coherently on this show.
No, that is not true.
Thank you. I'm a god. Remember, Conan O'Brien rocks, Conan O'Brien rules. It's going to be a big hit. Columbo won 5 Emmys for you. 5 Emmys. What is it when you have? If I had 5 Emmys, and I'm not kidding, if I had 5 Emmys, I would mount them on the hood of my car and drive around so that everybody could see that I had 5 Emmys.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes, you know, when you have things in a room and they've been there for a long, long time, so you don't notice every time you walk in a room that they're there. But one day I walk into the room, where's the Emmys?
Right.
I yell to my wife, where are the Emmys? She says, they're up in Lenny's room. I go up there, I don't see them. I said, they're not here. She says, they're on the chest facing the bed.
Right.
Well, now I look, I don't see them. And then I see, oh, that little black base that sits under some hair. I said, that base is the base of an Emmy. And that hair is the hair from a lady's wig. Now I understood what happened. My wife, God love her, I could strangle her. She's using my Emmys for a wig rack.
I can't believe this is true.
No, I tell you it's true. I brought a picture.
You have a picture?
People don't believe this. I brought a picture. Show them the picture.
Oh, wow. Wow. There you go. Well, when they're all together, it looks like the band Aerosmith, when they're all together. Now, something you're not afraid to talk about is you have a...
I'm glad you mentioned this. Columbo is on tomorrow night at ABC.
I was going to mention that, yeah. It's right here. That comes at the end when we plug the... Yeah.
Right, I'm sorry.
How dare you? Do you know who I am? You are not afraid to talk about the fact that you have a glass eye, and in fact, you have a lot of fun with that. You've actually you played practical jokes with the fact
well,
that
the thing is this, you know, when you're young and you got a glass eye, you dread that moment where some other kid's going to come up to you and say, what's the matter with your eye?
Right. Because you got...
How come one don't move? You know?
Right.
You don't, that's not good. But then after a while, when you play sports, you know, you get used to it. But when you realize that you can get a laugh, now you're home free. And the first really big laugh I got was when I was playing ball. You know, at Ossining High School, that's where I went to school, the grandstand on the third base side was very close to the third base, actually. And that was important because those people could see and hear everything. And that was important because the play was at third base. And I got called out at third base. It was a bad call, no doubt about it. And when I whipped out the eye, and I handed it to the umpire. And all the guys in the stands, they could all hear what I said. And I said, you'll do better with this one. Yeah, we have a lot of... Go out and get yourself a couple of glass eyes. You've had a lot of...
Keep in your pockets. It's fun, kids.
Right.
You have a passion for sketching nudes, and you're really a talented artist. And I'd always heard that you sketch, but today we actually got a hold of some of your...
Oh, really?
Some of your work, yeah. And it's really, we had to take a few liberties with it for obvious reasons, but that's beautiful. Like, when did you start drawing?
What is that beautiful thing that she's wearing there?
Well, we're a network show, and I will not tolerate filth.
Right. Drawing is, it's terrific drawing. How I started, I don't know. I know now. I was doing a play. That's right. I was doing a play, Prison 2nd Avenue. I was staying at the Wyndham Hotel. It's on 58th Street. And on 57th Street, I always used to walk down 57th Street, and I passed the building. It said Art Students League. And to this day, I don't know why I did it. I stopped and I walked in there, and it was quiet, and it was like an old wooden floor. And I walked, and then I saw a door. I opened the door. There she was, weighed on her left hip, chest out, bare ass.
What a wonderful term, bare ass. Completely naked, and you just thought,
this is where I'm coming tomorrow.
Now, is your wife okay with the fact that, you're in a room with a beautiful nude woman a lot of the time when you're sketching?
There's a famous story about artists and their models. This artist, he was drawing a model, and it wasn't going well. So he said, well, come on, we take a break. We'll have a cup of coffee. So she put on her robe, and they're sitting there having a cup of coffee. Now his wife's car comes pulling in. He hears it coming down the driveway. So he says to the model, quick, take off your robe. She'll think something's going on here.
Now, do you always just sketch women? Do you ever sketch nude men?
I checked. I really prefer women, really. But
Me too. I want to make that very clear. Now, let's get to this show. Columbo, one of the most enduring television characters of all time. Columbo, in this new Columbo episode, goes to a rave party. Because Columbo's now, it's the new millennium, and this one's called Columbo Likes the Nightlife, I guess. Columbo, I'm not making that up. Columbo goes to a rave party.
Right.
I want to see that. I want to see Columbo at a rave party.
Yeah, it wasn't my idea. The network said to me, how about Columbo in the world of the rave? And I said, great. What is it?
You didn't know what a rave was?
I had no idea. You know, don't you? I bet you people.
Well, I know what a rave is. Yeah, I know what a rave is. I don't go a lot because I'd stick out like a sore thumb. Like, I'd be the one guy in a room like, what's happening here? Stop it, all of you! Stop it! I don't really, I'm not a loosey-goosey kind of guy, but now Columbo doesn't, and a lot of kids take, there's like a lot of ecstasy, and Columbo's not on ecstasy in this, is he? He's not wigged out Columbo, no.
I don't know, but the one thing he does do, and I never dreamt I would see this day, Columbo is wearing, on top of the raincoat, a pink boa.
People saying no,
you gotta tune in
just to see that.
Just to see that.
Yeah.
8 o'clock tomorrow night, ABC, Columbo.
Why don't I tell them when it's on? Columbo Likes the Nightlife airs tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on ABC. You know what? I'll tell you something. I've been doing this now almost 10 years, and you've been on my very short list of people that haven't done the show that I always wanted to have on the program. This is a real treat for us. Thank you very much. Peter Falk. Stay right there. Bridget Moynihan is coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much. everybody. Great show tonight, I believe, and I'm not biased. But coming up tomorrow night, we have a terrific show from the movie The Guru. Heather Graham is going to be here. The star of the... Hey, don't bum out. You can watch it on TV. The star of the movie Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Sam Rockwell, is going to be here. And the godfather of hip-hop, Russell Simmons. So watch that show.